Hello and welcome back to Stuart Thomas Media and another episode of cheap Chinese stuff that might burn my house down. In other words, Stus Reviews. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you may have seen a review of the ID107 smart bracelet that I uploaded. Now, that only cost £13. Somebody sent me this.
Please, Stu, I haven't got £13. Can you recommend anything cheaper?
So with that in mind, let's take a look at the Health Sports Bracelet. This cost me £7.34.
£7.34.
Now, I believe this is possibly the cheapest smartwatch that I can find, but I'm open to options. If anyone else can find a cheaper one, then let me know. This is £7.34. Now, I'm hoping it turns out to be as good as the ID107. Oh, and by the way, you can watch that review by clicking here or in the comments below. But let's take a look. So, I've not opened this, which is unlike me. I'll take a look. Right, okay. So, here we go. Right, in the box, we've got the... Well, it looks... Bloody Nora, it smells like chemicals. That could kill you, I think. Okay, so it's not bad. Right, how to turn this on? Woo! Okay, there we go. Can you see that? Let's have a look at that. Okay, well the display isn't that bright, but it's telling the time as 10:01. Right. That's wrong. Okay, instructions. Right, let's have a look at the instructions. Okay. Oh my God! Chinese. Can you see that? Why is it written in Chinese? I don't read Chinese. Oh no. Wait, there is English. Here we go. There is... Oh, it's called the Day Band. The Day Band Instructions Manual. Right, okay. Band to wear, the best after ulnar styloid. What does that even mean? Band to wear, the best after ulnar styloid. Now have a look at that. Can you see that? This is going to take me some time. I'll be back soon. So I'm back. It's taken me about 3 hours to get this working properly because the instructions are so poor. So I've started to get used to how it all works. Now, my first impressions are, yeah, nice. The material is a kind of very soft rubber that smells like some sort of genetically modified creature. It's really hard to put on because it's so soft and the clasp itself, I don't know if you can see that, is really poor. So that's not so good, but the actual interface of the watch and app isn't too bad, although it does vibrate all the time because it thinks I've got notifications, which I do, to be fair, but they're things that I've chosen to ignore. However, this can't understand that and decides to vibrate every about 2 minutes, which is quite irritating, but it's not too bad. Let's take a closer look. So, here it is. Now, it's a pretty straightforward design. It looks very much like one of the Fitbits, potentially not quite as good a quality, and yeah, it feels all right. But it's got an accelerometer inside it, so it'll display the screen when you raise your wrist. And also, it's got a button on the side which you can press, and you can get the time through there. And if you press it again, it cycles through the different options. So you've got steps, you've got distance, and you've got calories and back to the time. So it's pretty straightforward. On the bottom, we've got a charging bit, if that's the technical term, where you can charge it, and also you can change the bands by just popping it out like this, and you can see the unit itself. It's very, very light, very slim, but yeah, it does the job. Now, I guess the most important thing is to take a look at the app, because generally these are pretty rubbish if the app is rubbish, but let's take a look at that in a second. So let's take a look at the Day Band app. I don't know why they always call it weird names. Anyway, so you're met with this interface, really, really straightforward. Shows you how many steps you've done and how many steps it is towards your goal, with the little bar that can fill up going around that central circle. On the bottom, you got your distance, your calories burnt, and your rating. Apparently, I'm rated bad. No idea what that means. Anyway, on the next page, we've got sleep stats, so how many hours you've slept. As you can see, I've slept 0 hours, which is usual, really. Deep sleep, light sleep, and awake time, which is not too bad. And then we've got our settings up in the top corner. Oh, before we do that, if you tap on the big circle in the middle, it'll give you in-depth stats, like a history of your stats over the past week, month, day. So it gives you an idea of how your overall activity is going. Now, into the settings, we've got call reminders, SMS reminders, and more app reminders. And as I've just shown, no idea what apps support it, but it would appear that a lot of stuff notifies you, which is not bad. You've got an alarm, so it can wake you up in the morning. You've got shake to take selfie, but you need to use this app to take the photo, which is a bit weird. You've got link to Apple Health. Now, a lot of the stats that this can record goes straight into Apple Health, which is fantastic as well. To be honest, even more expensive apps, you don't really see linking up with Apple Health, but it's good to see such a cheap band using it. But that's it, really. There is literally nothing more to explore in this app. It couldn't be more straightforward. I think overall, it's a very clean design, and it's very snappy as well. Probably one of the better Chinese apps I've found for these sort of things. So yeah, not bad. So there you go. That is the TW64 Day Band. My conclusion, yeah. Do you know what? £7.34. What else could you get for £7.34? A pub meal? Even pub meals cost more than that. Do you know what? If you are buying something, or you want to buy a fitness band that's just to try and get you motivated, you're not sure if you're going to make use of one, spend £7 and try this out, because it's not bad. Although I will say it's not got a heart rate sensor, which is the big negative for me, because that is always handy to know. By spending maybe a couple of quid more and getting something like the ID 107 band, you'll get the heart rate sensor. But do you know what? For something that can track your steps and your calories and give you a good idea on your sleep patterns, yeah, not bad. Not bad for £7.34. So, if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you back on Stus Reviews soon.